was questioning me, Mario.
If you've missed the LCO's first stage for 2023, we saw an abundance of excitement, action, and drama. With potentially one of the most competitive splits to date, let's look at some key moments from the competition and see how our teams will be challenging for the LCO crown. The Direwolves recruited a 2021 championship winning bot side in Chaz, Pradith, and Decoy, and started their LCO campaign as strong as ever with a 6-1 scoreline, losing only one very winnable match to a surging Pentanet.gg. A strong mid-game and great pick focus enable this team to find their best success competing in the LCO. Direwolves were one of the biggest surprises of the split because they came in and immediately looked good. Their bot lane has been stable, they've got Lucian Nami highlights left, right and center. Mid has been roaming and team fighting incredibly well. Chaz has some magic when he picks that Akali. But it's the infusion of the tournament winning bot side with Poltron and Zoranus that is clicking immediately and allowing the Direwolves to shine.
The wall, but how durable is this Castante? Untouchable!
Zoranus is massive.
Bliss kicked off their inaugural LCO split with a very slow, shaky, and unsteady start, but have since improved steadily, finding their way to a top 3 finish and beating the likes of Pentanet.gg to earn that placement. Consistency bottom top with a wildcard jungle mid combo gives you plenty of reasons to watch this team as they rise or fall moving forward. Daystar is rank 1 in solo queue with over 60 champions played, a boatload of games played, and on all reports he is a mechanically gifted and extremely smart competitive player. Why Not has been playing a lot of Elise and specifically Rengar into Elise, and has been noted for some of the most creative pathing of all junglers currently in the LCO, and has been an absolute pleasure to watch.
There is the flash and power. They go for the kill, they find it. They've got the aggro and live. Why not even get a
Pentanet.gg returned to the LCO this year with bolstered ranks and a renewed vigour in their squad, demolishing anyone in their way for the first 2 weeks of play. With Schernfire orchestrating the Symphony of Death alongside Dongi, this is the perfect squad for former Peace Star Violet to reign terror. And create terror they have, having reinvented their philosophy on the game to be all about aggression, bucking the trend of what works domestically to strive for greater success if they make it abroad. You see a lot of aggression from Pentanet.gg and a lot of tower dives.
You love to see Shinky is bleeding, blinking, and really praying.
Contrary to the holistic playstyle of Pentanet.gg, Violet seems to have reinvented himself as a passive, teamfight oriented AD carry and has really matured and come into his own as a player, making highlight reel after highlight reel in team fights, but not for flashing forwards, instead just for being extremely consistent and always putting out high numbers. Reigning champions the Chiefs have at times definitively looked the best in the league. Having combined 2022's order with their own 2022 squad, the Chiefs seemed like, for the first 2 weeks, they were unstoppable. But week 3 saw them looking entirely out of shape to their regular play, showing weaknesses just before the next stage, and really presenting some dangers that they have to contend with moving forward. When we think about the Chiefs, right now, only one name comes to mind, and that name is Kisei. He has been playing assassins, he has been annihilating anyone in his way, and Kisei has genuinely been unstoppable for all 3 weeks of the LCO.
1v1, making a 2v1. Poltron jumps in, insta flash away from Kisei. Oh, flash denied! TP's coming in too, Bio says, I'm here to help you, mate.
Oh, he's alive.
Oh, the teammate, Kisei's still alive! The shield bow value, that is a mythic item because that was magical!
The Chiefs beat rivals Pentanet.gg in convincing fashion, but 1 week later lost to the bottom of the table team Kanga in an even bigger surprise than when they beat Pentanet.
Flashing, autoing,
He's done it!
it!
This Chiefs roster has more than enough star power and skill to take out the LCO title and find themselves with back-to-back wins in the league. But so far, they've shown signs of weaknesses. They've shown that they aren't infallible just yet, and they have to contend with those demons before the next stage of the LCO starts, where there are eliminations on the line.
Winnable for Kanga, just quietly. Hooper with a Nami there.
Ground Zero is a roster built off the foundation of Dante and Bulldog, who made their splash in the LCO last year. A young, unrefined group of players with a lot of potential. We hope to see continued growth from this squad as they find their feet and really start to challenge Oceania's top dogs. Ground Zero had an extremely slow start to the league. They tried to play comfort picks, they tried to play the meta, and none of it was really working. Up until the game where Tron picked Olaf and put on an absolute clinic with highlight after highlight and helped Ground Zero to find themselves and help find their identity and cement their place in the LCO.
Into action goes the Olaf, there's the axe, there's the chop, and he hits with the lumberjack. He can do no wrong. It's not going to be a pentakill, but that is a very decisive ace.
Ground Zero are a squad that seem to be ramping up, perfectly timed for the second stage of the LCO. Mammoth have had another rough start to the season, but have shown improvements and signs of promise. The addition of Dajung and Akano has definitely made a difference for the side of Mammoth as it complements the bottom lane in Voicin and Trust. Mammoth's one win of the season so far did come through that bottom lane, with Voicin and Trust playing Draven and Nautilus and being aggressive from level 1. Moving Dajung down, moving Akano down towards bottom lane and diving until they found their win. Mammoth have a lot of creativity when it comes to drafting. They constantly switch up their champions and constantly try to make things confusing or difficult for their opponents. Other teams in the LCO have found their identity, and that is the one thing Mammoth need to put more effort towards. Kanga had the worst start to the split of all teams in the LCO, but thankfully for them, right at the finish line, they found some really good form and beat the Chiefs. Hooper had his signature Lucian pick, but Mayfan was the highlight reel, having picked the Mumu and going absolutely crazy when it came to team fights.
I mean, phenomenal bubble there by Shinky.
Ooh, it's another.
Punishing his support counterpart, Babip just copping a world of
Mayfan,
damage.
let's go.
Blue has also cemented his identity as a carry player in top lane, picking champions like Fiora, and has been able to get some solo kills in top lane as well against all opponents of high caliber. So when you look at Kanga, you have a lot of reasons to cheer for them moving forward, and seeing if this potential behind the roster can come to flourish. The LCO has already delivered an abundance of action, and as we continue to tell the story of our teams, we hope you'll join us on the 27th of February when the LCO returns for Stage 2.